Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of The Battle for America, 2008, the story of an extraordinary election, by Balz and Haynes Johnson, performed by Dick Hill. For Tim Russert, friend and colleague, who defined the race only to miss the last chapter, and to our wives, Nancy Balz and Catherine Oberle. Heroes and philosophers, brave men and vile, have since Rome and Athens tried to make transfer of power work effectively. No people have succeeded at it better than the Americans. Theodore H. White, The Making of the President, 1960. To the Reader. We began research for this book in 2006, out of a conviction that the presidential election of 2008 promised to be one of the most significant in American history. More than 2 years later, it has turned out to be that, and more, the election of a lifetime, one that will be studied for years for its shattering of historical barriers and its long-term consequences for the United States. In the decades we have spent chronicling American politics, nothing has equaled this election for the richness of its characters, for the light it sheds on questions of race, gender, religion, class, and generational changes, and for the stakes it raises for the future. It was an election that took place against a background of 2 wars, the collapse of the world's capital markets, a gathering global recession, soaring national debt, and pervasive doubts about the direction of the country from traditionally optimistic Americans. These problems created deep anxiety and presented challenges for the presidential candidates faced with some of the most daunting issues the United States has confronted, not least the gravest economic crisis since the Great Depression. How well those issues were addressed during the election will define the nation's course, for better or worse, in years to come. In the end, public hunger for change produced an outpouring of voters hopeful that a new president and a new approach would lead to a better America. A word about our methods and sources. We were present at many of the scenes recounted in this narrative, and we conducted recorded interviews covering hundreds of hours of conversations with the principal political players, their strategists and advisors, and the voters who rendered.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?